You're watching Apple Insider, and today, we're rewinding time to take a look at one of the most unique mobile phones ever made, at the Nokia 6108. This isn't your average throwback. It's a phone that blended tradition and innovation in a way that only Nokia dared to do. With its built-in handwriting recognition, pop-out stylus, and that iconic 2003 Nokia design language, the 6108 was a wild experiment. But the real question is, how did it hold up in terms of actual usability? And is there still something to admire about this little gadget today? Stick around, because we're diving deep into each feature just like a keynote, clean, simple, and straight to the point. Number 1. Design and build quality. Nokia was never afraid to push the envelope with hardware, and the 6108 is a testament to that. At first glance, the phone looks like a standard Nokia candybar from the early 2000s, a numeric keypad, monochrome display up top, but there's a twist. The keypad flips down to reveal a touchscreen beneath it. Yes, you heard that right. In 2003, Nokia included a hidden touch-sensitive surface that worked with a built-in stylus stored in the back of the phone. The build itself is classic Nokia, a solid, durable, unapologetically plasticky, but in a way that feels resilient. It has that familiar tactile feel we all remember, and the flip mechanism of the keypad is still surprisingly smooth and clicky even today. The 6108 isn't trying to look sleek or luxurious, it's trying to be practical and innovative at the same time, and in doing so, it becomes its own kind of cool. Number 2. Display. This one's definitely a blast from the past. The Nokia 6108 features a 128 by 128 pixel CSTN display that can show 4096 colors. By today's standards, that's primitive, but back in 2003, this was a mid-tier screen that gave users a decent amount of visual feedback. The colors aren't particularly vivid, and viewing angles are poor, but it's responsive and bright enough for what it was meant to do. The key highlight, however, isn't the display itself, it's what lies beneath it. That hidden touchscreen area, used for handwriting input, adds a layer of interaction that most phones at the time didn't have. It's not the main display that responds to touch, it's that concealed pad, and once you uncover it, you're entering a completely different way of typing. It was experimental, no doubt, but a fun one. The stylus felt natural for small inputs, and handwriting recognition, while basic, was accurate enough for notes and short messages. Number 3. Performance. Let's not expect blazing speeds here, this is a feature phone through and through. The 6108 runs on Nokia's Series 40 platform, which was never designed for multitasking or intense use. But for what it was built for, calls, texts, a few apps, and basic games, that performed smoothly. Navigation through the menus is snappy, input lag is minimal, and everything works as it should. The phone feels responsive when you're cycling through your contacts, changing settings, or even browsing the built-in web browser. Of course, there's no multitasking, and launching more than one app is out of the question. But it's precisely that simplicity that made phones like the 6108 so reliable. No crashes, no weird bugs, just consistent, stable performance every time you turned it on. Number 4. Camera. Now here's the catch, the Nokia 6108 doesn't have a camera. And that's actually kind of important to note. While other models at the time were starting to experiment with VGA cameras, the 6108 chose to double down on input innovation instead. For Nokia, it seems the focus was on handwriting recognition and messaging, not multimedia. That decision might seem limiting today, but it was a calculated trade-off. And if you were someone who cared more about notes, SMS, and business communication, it made perfect sense. So while there's no lens on the back, there's a stylus in your hand, and for some users, that made the 6108 more useful than any grainy camera could. Number 5. Battery life. Nokia knew how to make batteries last, and the 6108 was no exception. With a 720 mAh L4C battery, you could get several days of use on a single charge. We're talking about phones that don't drain power from big screens, LTE modems, or background apps. This phone sips power. Even with regular texting and calls, the battery easily lasts 3 to 5 days, and in standby mode, even longer. Charging it takes a little while, we're talking 2 to 3 hours, but once it's topped up, you're set for nearly a week. That kind of longevity feels almost magical today when most of us are tethered to chargers every night. And best of all, the battery is removable, so replacements were easy and cheap. Number 6. Software and features. The Nokia 6108 runs Series 40, a platform many of us associate with reliability. While it lacks the customizability of smartphones, it offers just enough features to make daily use comfortable. You've got basic tools like a calendar, calculator, and to-do list, but the main event is definitely the handwriting input. Using the stylus and the hidden touchpad, you could write out letters and numbers, which the phone would convert into digital text. It's not as fast as typing on a full QWERTY keyboard, but it's surprisingly intuitive once you get the hang of it. You also get support for SMS and MMS, and even a WAP 1.2.1 browser for basic mobile internet access, though we doubt you'll be browsing much these days. The phone also supports Java apps and games, so there's a bit of room for customization if you want to install a classic Snake clone or a simple puzzle game. As far as software goes, it's lean, focused, and well suited to its hardware. Number 7. Value for money. Back in its day, the Nokia 6108 wasn't a budget phone, but it also wasn't in the top-tier flagship territory. It offered something niche, a unique input method for professionals or users who wanted more control over their text. If you were someone who sent a lot of messages and didn't need a camera, this phone was oddly perfect. Today, if you find a working 6108 on the used market, it's a collector's piece more than anything else. It's not something you'd use as a daily driver, but it represents a fascinating chapter in mobile history, a time when manufacturers were willing to take bold, weird risks to see what might work. And in that sense, its value is more sentimental than functional now. Still, it remains one of the most inventive devices Nokia ever made. And now, let's wrap it up. The Nokia 6108 is a reminder that innovation doesn't always have to come in the form of more power or more features. Sometimes, it's about trying something truly different. This phone dared to combine physical buttons with handwriting input at a time when the word touchscreen was still futuristic. It sacrificed the camera to create space for something new, something experimental. And while it didn't change the world, it stood out in a sea of similar-looking devices. Today, in a market saturated with glass slabs and identical designs, looking back at the 6108 feels refreshing. It's not about specs or benchmarks, it's about character, curiosity, and a little bit of Nokia magic. Thanks for watching this retro deep dive on Apple Insider. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more classic tech breakdowns, and drop a comment if you've ever used a phone as bold and strange as the 6108. See you in the next one. Would you like me to format this for voiceover delivery with pacing cues or background music suggestions?